Welcome back, everybody. It's I, your host, Mr. Spicy, and we are back again today with the Forest Survival. And today, I'm going to build something again. And now, I have already done a lot of work here on base number 3. We've got the base itself done. I've got 2 different rafts built, one for logs, one for sticks and rocks, and rabbits. My rabbits are not breeding very quickly, like they did at base number 2. But that's okay, because that's just kind of a backup anyway. I've got my walkways, one that goes out towards the trees. I've got lizards, rabbits, tortoises, cannibals to deal with over there. And over this way, I've got tons of crocodiles. So I've got a good bit of supplies, access. I've also finished up a lot of decoration in the house. I've got my armor, my couch, my bed, fireplace. I got Jaws and brought his head in, and I think that looks pretty nice. Nice little frame around it with the deer skin. So I've got that going. I've got some rope storage here and skull storage, and I've got my 3 crocodile heads. I've still got a ton of food. No matter how much I am letting go bad, I still end up with a ton of food. I built a 3rd rack for skins because I've got a full rack of just lizard skin. I've got that one there. I've got a full set of stealth armor on hand. All this just done. And plenty of water. Let me actually make sure I got water. I'm going to go ahead and fill up. Because what I want to do today is this base is out here in the middle of nowhere. That's kind of the theme. But base number 2, I built as a security base around the idea of being on an island with a bridge as a choke point that I could destroy the bridge and isolate myself. It wasn't about being distant. It wasn't about putting it someplace that's far away from everything else. It was simply about a good location, and that location is very close to base number 1. And since building base number 2, I have not even been back to base number 1 except to look at 1.1, the updates. Nothing really being done there. So I want to use the opportunity, because they're so close, it doesn't make sense to try and connect this one in, but base 1 and base 2 can be connected together. I had that idea a while back, and I kept meaning to get started on it, but it's also such a, daunting job just because of how many trees I'm going to have to chop down. But now, with one of our recent updates, we've got a new feature that is going to really help speed this up. So I'm going to head back to base number 2 and get things started. Okay, so we are on the ridge just above the 2nd base. I've already raided the cannibal camp nearby, and it's so nice getting all that cloth and the free ropes again, because 3rd base really doesn't have a lot of cloth and rope available around it. So that was nice. I have built a zip line using all that rope and some logs to do this, basically. Because when they added zip lines originally, they didn't have the option to add logs to them, and they added that in a later update. And because of that, we can actually use the zip line as a way to transport logs, as long as you don't get a little, too impatient like I did right there. So we're going to do this. I'm going to run down the line myself and make sure that everything is coming across on the other end. And it should hopefully be just like launching the logs out, not into the air like that. That is not what I was supposed to have happen there. We have a wayward log out there floating in the water, but these worked all right. So we actually have some logs semi-working. It's not working as it really should, but it is at least working, 4 out of 5 logs. Okay, so I have cleared the rock walls from the corner here, and what I want to do is I want to build a platform that goes straight out to that little island there, then hops across that way, and then goes across there, and you can see just in the distance there where the little house icon is, the very back of my building. And I am cold and wet thanks to this rain, so that's not helping any. But what I want to do is, I've thought about this. There's a couple options I can use. I can build using stairs by flattening them out, which means I should be able to take it and just be like, all right, you know what, we're going to build from here. And see, I can build them completely flat. Now, the one good thing about that is you're going to have a single post that goes into the water, so you can actually maneuver around them if you're in the raft or something like that. However, I don't plan to be rafting through here that much, so that's not going to be a big issue for me. Secondly, if you build these, the problem with them is you cannot use the railways on them. You cannot put stick or bone fences along the sides of them, and at least not at the moment. And if I don't have that, I have a feeling that that would be like my downfall, that I'll be running along and I suddenly have to like sneeze, and as a result I jerk the mouse or something and ultimately end up falling into the water. And by falling into the water, I'd be having to swim however far back to either here or to the other base area, and I get chased by a shark and eaten. Okay, so not even building all the way to the first base, but building close to it, it's already 482 logs. So that's more than, if I remember right, more than this entire platform, the entire foundation here took for me to build on this base. And probably once I add that final little connection, which you can't even see the blueprint at this distance, it'll probably end up being as much as this whole base combined just for a walkway over to the first base. All right, here we go. Nice quick zip line ride all the way over here. I wonder how much of the blueprint will show. Oh man, I don't even get to go through the zip line with that. They are just piled in. It looks like a bonfire. Oh, so I may have a problem doing more than like one sled load of logs at a time, because apparently they're just clustering up right there. It may be something to do with the fact that I have it right on the surface level. Maybe if I had built like a little platform up top where they could just drop off, it would have more room for more logs. Of course, when I built this base, there was no zip lines in the game at the time. So if the zip line had already been added and had the log transport functionality in it already, I would have definitely built for that. I probably would have built the platform, the main floor, and then built the zip line second so I could easily transport logs down for the walls and roof and everything. Oh, but this is at least going to help save me time and trouble of having to run out there with a sled, fill it up, run back, and then lather, rinse, repeat. You know, this is going to at least help me on that. Look, there's one log that popped all the way over there. So yeah, I'm probably going to lose a few logs here and there from the collision stuff, causing one to launch into the water. Fortunately, it looks like I've only got one in the water, and that is the one from earlier. So maybe I won't lose that many. That's what, one log for about 16, 17 logs total that I've sent across. Also got me a nice rabbit from up there, my traps. I figure I didn't need to try to bring them down live because I've got a ton of rabbits already. So we're gonna pop you here, buddy. I'm getting me some food. I love how it's clearly rotten, but I grab it and it's perfectly okay again. I love how readily you can see the logs just going off into the distance, and then it's just kind of like, oh, they disappear right as they get to the end of the zip line. And you know, that's where just all heck is breaking loose. Just everything's just flopping around every which direction. All right, that's 6 trees, I think I did, 5 or 6 trees. So we're gonna go and see just how bad that is. Look at that. Yeah, I need to clear some of these off. Maybe I can still grab that one down there. Yeah, all right, so I think my limit is about 4 trees before I have to come back. So no, like, you know, I just did 20 trees and now I'm gonna come and grab them all because I don't have room for that many logs in it. It's just gonna pile up and over the lip there of the rock wall. So this time the logs didn't pile up here. They blew out all over the place. Look at this. I've got one over there. Got one all the way over here. That is just spread all over the place. Now, if this was consistent, if it would do this every time, I knew it wouldn't have a big pile of them. That's a different story because, I mean, if anything, worst case, one of them's going to run over here and fall off this way, and that's fine. I can easily get those. I got stairs there. But this would actually let me put a whole load of them. I mean, not just 4 trees, but go way beyond 4 trees. Well, I had another log explosion. This time one ended over here and one ended out there. So yeah, and that was 4 trees, I think, but like 3 of them were fiver ones. So it's like, it's very temperamental on how the logs and the physics works with this right now. Hopefully they'll fix that. If not, then I know the next base I build where I do something like this, I will build with this in mind and probably have some kind of trough that basically I just have everything go and have like a rock wall that the logs can basically slam into and then drop straight down and just have it, you know, some kind of break system type thing, and then there'll just be a little trough for holding them, and I just have to have a little spot where I walk in and access them. Hey buddy, I see you still got an arrow in your arm from earlier. That's kind of nice that you can have the same cannibal not despawn with an arrow in him that you planted in him earlier. That's pretty useful. Oh yeah, you don't like that rock in your face, huh? I don't think that actually hit him. It just seemed to hit him. Oh, yes. Right as you were about to jump at me, I got you. Now, where's your friends? Anybody else? Who wants some of this? Come on. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, massive log explosion. These didn't pile up at all. They just went everywhere. And now I can't jump over the rock wall anymore. At least the errant ones that fall everywhere out here are landing where I'm actually in wading depth, so I can just wade in the water right up to where I can grab the log and not have to actually bother with swimming and grabbing it and then slowly drawing it back by grabbing at it and dropping it repeatedly. Still, that's a big difference where in some cases I come here and I like get stuck here because they're all piled in the middle of the zip line little structure here, and there are times like this where they just spread out and go everywhere. You know, if it was consistent, I could at least plan around which one it's going to be, but it's not consistent. Ah, it did it again. Look at that. 3 of them launched all the way out there. Ah, it's like it's getting worse. And then suddenly, next time, I swear, next time it will pile them all in one tight little pile. And that's it. Okay, so it even launched one out here over the rock wall into the sand on the beach. Okay, seriously, there's a problem here. One of the logs somehow managed to go through all of this, and land here inside. When that decide to have a log explosion. Oh yeah, look. Stuck in there, and I launched upwards almost on top of it when I landed too. I think I have an idea of what's causing it. I think if you separate out the timing that you latch them on to the rope and send them down the zip line, it will affect what happens as far as the collision. Like you can see here how they kind of piled in. I think if I like put one on the zip line and give it till it's about halfway into the distance where I can't see it, and then put the next log on the zip line, it will actually make it do like this. And it's when I put one on, give it a second to get out of the way and put a second one on, that they're so close together when they land, it kind of triggers it to be like a, you know, bounce off each other explosion type thing. So I'm going to have to experiment with that a bit and see if that's really the case. But yeah, I've been at this for a good while now. This is very tedious. Even having the zip line to speed things up, this is still very tedious. You know, it's when you see that count and it says 82 logs, hey, 82 logs, that won't take that long. And you're like, okay, you know, half hour, 45 minutes, you're done. This case, 482 logs, it's kind of like, this is going to take forever. And even with the zip line, I mean, I can see how much faster this is going because I don't have to haul the sled up. I don't have to haul it back down. This amount of logs here, this is about 1.5 sleds worth of logs. So it's actually much faster because I can get more logs down here in a single go, even with the glitchy, explosive element of it, than if I just took a sled up there on foot and then brought it back down repeatedly. So this is definitely much faster despite the problems I'm having with it, but it's still going to take a while. So I'm going to go ahead and call it for today's video and spend some more time with this. And once I get this segment done, I'll do the next segment and I'll get everything connected right up to that very end with base number 1, where I'll build some kind of little, walkway type thing, or, a little boardwalk for looking out the water. Make it nice and decorative and enjoyable experience to walk out there and just have a nice stroll from one base to the other. But that is going to be it for today's episode. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit that like button. Also hit subscribe and tick the notification bell if you haven't already done that, so you keep up with all my stuff during the week, because I post 6 days a week. And, follow me on Facebook and Twitter. I sync everything up there so you get updates there. I put some extra stuff there occasionally, so you can always get some extra content from me that way, or just say hi to me. And leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about this walkway between bases. And, if you've got a suggestion for something else to do after this is done, I'd love to hear it, because I need some ideas on where to go next with this. That's it for today. Thanks for watching, guys. I am Mr. Spicy, and I will see you in the next video.